Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV, and this is Accurate Context Live. Y'all, I just came from watching Kempire's video. He was discussing the court documents. The custody case, with Melody and Martell, their child custody case. And I normally like to go to the comment section whenever I'm watching a video just to see, get a feel of what people are saying. Like some comments, maybe respond to some if I feel like y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about. And some of the comments are just horrible, in my opinion. Good night to everyone that's tuned in right now. Thank you for joining me. As I said, this might be a quick live. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about some of the comments I saw under that Kempire video because I'm happy. I honestly didn't want to cover the court documents only because it's like so sensitive and I don't want to add my thoughts to some of the things that were said in the documents because I don't want to speculate on certain things, but I definitely have thoughts. And I didn't want to talk about the documents, but I have to talk about some of the comments under that Kempire video. For one, someone had the audacity to say that Miss Wanda was booted off the show for talking about children, but we, the millimeter content creators, basically are discussing children by talking about this case. And I'm like, that is such a silly take. Hi, Ebony. That is such a silly take. Wanda sat on her live discussing a baby's paternity and was also comparing that child's picture to some strange dude we don't even know where he came from. That's what Wanda was doing. That's a whole different thing than reading in black and white things that are being said in a court proceeding. And Martell, he set this ball rolling because he's the one allegedly who was out here sharing these court documents with bloggers because he felt like people were not going to read or people weren't going to go digging some more. He thought that we were only going to look at one side of the story, the side that he was giving us, and not go searching for the rest of it. Well, some people went searching for the rest of it, and now they're talking about it, and now we're seeing just how unhinged this man is. So to want to compare that to Wanda talking about these children's hair, comparing the texture of these kids' hair to the texture of her grandkids, to compare that to Wanda talking about she told her granddaughter not to play with Tang, to want to compare that to compare reading some court documents to Wanda sitting and saying that a baby doesn't belong to the father that we know is the father is totally different. And then another comment said, oh, Melody isn't innocent. I'm like, these people love to deflect. It's scary how much people who want to support Martell, it's scary how much they love to deflect. Like every time you bring up something that Martell did, here comes somebody windmilling for Martell in the comment section by saying, well, Melody isn't innocent. And to that comment, I asked, in this situation, after hearing everything that Kempire read out loud, in this situation, please explain to me what is in this for you to even want to talk about Melody's innocence or lack thereof, because it's not adding up for me. Y'all, some of these people, they want to bring up BS from a TV show. This is not about a TV show. This is literally about real life. This is not scenes being made up and people pretending to be friends for a TV show. This is not about people being co-workers and being cordial for a TV show. This is not about silly beefs on a TV show. This is about real life children and what seems to be just a world of torment that they are living in because their father cannot get his life together and because their father wants to sabotage anything good for them so that he can stick it to their mother. Because that's what it is. Because when Kempire said, he's often on the side of the parent who says, I don't want my kids to be on social media. I don't want my kids to be on TV. Okay, that's fine. In a normal situation, under normal circumstances, y'all, that would be absolutely fine if a parent is saying, I don't want my kids on social media. But we are talking about Martha Holt, who is parading his son with his mistress, now turned baby mama, now turned girlfriend, now turned ex. We don't know what she is in his life. He's parading that child all over social media. That mom, Coleslaw, can have that baby all over social media. Martell, after dragging Melody through court and then it being final that, okay, the kids won't be on social media, the M&M kids won't be on social media, had his child, sorry y'all, had his child with Coleslaw on the red carpet for the Spider-Man movie premiere. Now, ain't that some ish? Because he has 2 sons, does he not? He has 5 kids, does he not? So you're telling me that the M&M kids should not be on the show. They should not be on social media. And they're all your kids. But your other child with this other woman, it is 100% fine for this child to be on social media. Make it make sense. Absolutely, Ebony. He said it out of spite. He is doing everything in his power to stick it to Melody, to spite Melody. Because the only way to get to Melody at this point is through her children. That's the only way. That's why you have some bloggers over there, those who will never be named over here, but you have some bloggers over there who want to say, oh, Melody cheated and this baby is probably not Martell's. Because the only way they can't come for Melody's education. They can't come for her accomplishments. They can't come for her business acumen. They can't come at her about Love and Marriage Hansel because she pitched it. They can say, oh, she needs to get off the show. She doesn't have a storyline. Listen, you don't need to have a storyline when you are the plot. When everything revolves around you, you don't have to come in with a set storyline. People are going to make you the storyline. But Melody's storyline is always set. And it's always honest and it's always real. So you have those people over there. The only thing they can come at her with is her children. And so that's what they're doing. I said on my community wall that in Jamaica, my grandmother used to say this. A lot of Jamaican people say this. They say, you can't catch Kwashi, you catch him shut. Which basically means if you cannot attack the person you really want to attack, you go at the person closest to them. And so that's what they're doing. And that's what Martell is doing. And it seems like he is looping in more people to do it along with him. Why would you want to sabotage your children? Why would you want to sabotage the opportunity? Forget the show. Because in my opinion, I believe that Melody doesn't really care about them being on the show. Yes, it would be great to see her as a mom and see how, she is navigating this world as a single mom when she has her kids. However, let's say the agreement is they won't be on the show. However, if you have products that you're launching for the kids, they can model their products, they can promote their products on social media. Why would you not want that for your children? Your eldest daughter has expressed that she wants to be an actress. Why would you not want her to continue on that path if that is indeed what she wants? It's not adding up. It's not adding up. Because one would think, and this is for the people over there under Kempire's comments, one would think that if he doesn't want the Eminem kids on social media because it's just so detrimental and blah, 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 and it's for their protection, then one would assume that he wouldn't want the baby with Ariane on social media either. I mean, Ariane gets it worse than Melody. I would think that he would want to protect that baby over there. But you see, he wants to go at Melody through these kids. And he feels like, well, if I prevent them from being on the show, if I prevent them from being able to promote their brands that their mom is putting in place for them, then she's not going to be making money. Because in his mind, he knows if he promotes a product for those children, as much as we love them, because he's the one doing it, and because we see what he's doing to Melody, I don't think we're going to support it. Or maybe we would just because it's for the kids. But it's like, why are you mad? Why can't you go out there and create a product for your children? If the situation is you feel like Melody's gonna make all this money by having products for the M&M kids. Emily, you're so funny because the kid out of wedlock not getting that good attention and to appease, yeah, of course, and to appease the mistress. He seems like he can't even tell her what to do anyways. I remember when he was on Queen Sheba asked him, why don't you stop her from doing certain things? And he's like, when somebody's hard-headed, you can't really. No, I don't even think that was the case. I think that the court documents said that he couldn't be out here saying disparaging stuff about Melody and vice versa. Melody can't be out here saying negative things, disparaging things about him. So, because he couldn't publicly come out here and bash her, he told the baby mama to go do it. That's what I feel. That makes the most sense for me, because all the vitriol and disdain that this girl continued to come on social media with day after day after day towards Mel, it didn't make any sense when Melody wasn't even talking about her. Melody was so far past that she didn't care. And I hope to God nobody was sending Melody those lives that girl was doing. And if they did, Melody still didn't respond to it. Melody didn't respond to anything Coleslaw had going on until Carson Blue came out and said what she said. And then Ariane came and said what she said. And Melody said, okay, bet. Let me set some things straight for you, little girl. And then Melody was done. Melody was literally done. So all the energy Ariane used to give on her lives at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning with that baby on her lap eating popsicles, it seems like a battery was put in her back because Hotel, he couldn't be out here doing it. That would be a violation. And then when you think about all these people who have come at Mel over and over and over again, and we're sitting here like, what is the beef? Like, what is your issue with this lady? Because it's not making sense. Now it's making sense. Because if someone sorry, y'all. If someone is in your ear telling you all this negativity about somebody, and it's telling you that, oh, they said this about you and they said that about you, if somebody is fooling you into believing that someone is speaking negatively about you, and then you already resented that person, something is stuck in my throat, y'all. Excuse me. And you already had a little bit of resentment and envy towards this person, you were already jealous of this person, then it's super easy for you to believe the lies that you're being told. And it's super easy for you to be manipulated into going at this person. Like, I believe that when Betty said that she was told that Melody said Stormy was ghetto or whatever, I honestly feel like that was some manipulation happening. where where he realized that Melody and Stormy were becoming cool. He realized that Stormy was getting a spot on the show as Melody's friend. And he wanted to put a little wedge in between them. And he couldn't get to Stormy fast enough. So he probably got to her mom and he told the mom, like, yeah, Stormy's is being buddy buddy with Mel. But just so you know, when we were first pitching the show or whatever, and Stormy's name came up, Mel said she was too ghetto for the show. Like, I could see him doing that because he realized that Betty was already out here saying bad things about Melody anyways. So it was easy to manipulate her into believing that. She's weird. Spend her life talking about Mel. Yep. She did that for so many years. And all these years later has nothing to show for it. While Mel surpasses all the foolishness. Do you remember Ebony when she said in a tweet or a post, I don't know what it was, but she said on social media that she told Martell to tell Melody to change the name of her skincare company from Embrace to something else. And I'm like, this girl is Delulu for real. She is so delusional to think that she had a say in that. When we watched on the show Melody dissolving that company because Martell wanted a piece of it, and we heard the story of how the name Seventh Avenue came about. So for her and I think she was responding to somebody, and she said, yeah, I told him to tell that B to change the name. I was like, this girl is delusional. Hi, Sir Braylon Lee. How are you? I hope you're doing great on this fine Friday evening or night, however y'all say it. So yeah, she's been delusional for a long time. But I didn't like some of the comments that I saw under Kempire's post. I feel like people do too much to enable Martell's bad behavior. It's gross at this point. Like, I don't care if you're somebody who dislikes Mel. That's fine. You don't have to like everybody you see on reality TV. You can have your favorites. But I feel like there's just some things that you should be able to stand on. Like, the court documents say XYZ. The court's documents say the kids have said to the guardian XYZ. And so I'm not going to sit here on social media and say, oh, I don't believe that he's abusing the kids. What? I couldn't believe when I read that in one of the comments that she doesn't believe he's abusing. He admitted it. He admitted it on Queen Sheba's interview that he did. He also admitted it on Tasha K's interview. And when he went down to that Popeye's parking lot in his red hat and was talking smack, he also admitted it then. So how are you now, because you want to windmill in the comment section for Martell, gonna say, I don't believe he is abusing those kids? The court document said, for the father's edification, punishment should not include. And they were so specific. They could have listed so many other things. But the mere fact that they listed, don't use hot sauce, don't use soap, don't choke, don't grab, don't punch. They didn't say slap. They didn't say bitters, don't put bitters in the kids' mouths. They specifically listed these 5 things, I think it was, and said that they're listing these things so the father, because this is what it means, so the father can understand clearly what he's not supposed to do. And then as a commenter under a video, you're gonna say you don't believe he's abusing the kids. Punishment is one thing, discipline is one thing. But if he's really pouring hot sauce down those kids' throats as a form of punishment, because I know there are people who say, "Oh, if a child says something bad or disrespectful, you're gonna wash their mouth out with soap." Like, I know people who've experienced that in their childhood. So for me, for the courts to have specifically stated that he shouldn't force these things on the kids and he shouldn't use choking and grabbing and punching as a method of discipline, and they specifically called him out. They didn't say for the mother and the father's edification. They said for the father's edification. And you're going to say, I don't believe that Martell is abusing the children. So then why were you sitting in that live or that premiere listening to court documents being read? If you're going to say, well, you don't believe it. And I think because Kempire didn't read the entire packet or whatever it is, or whatever you want to call it, because he didn't read the entire thing, I think a lot of people don't realize that what was included in Melody's filing were reports from the Guardian that were already submitted to the courts, and reports the Guardian got from the school. So a lot of the things that was in that document, it wasn't even Melody just off the top of her head just coming up with something. These were reports. Some of it were suggestions. Some of it were suggestions to the court that in the Guardian's opinion, he should undergo a psych eval. And then the court said, okay, we agree. So for people to be in the chat making it seem like Melody Melody and her lawyers were just putting this in a report for no reason. I'm like, y'all really need accurate context in your life. Right, Journey to Jasmine. Hi, Journey to Jasmine. And this is why I don't like when people who don't watch the show or know the nuances comment. Right. I hate that too. And this is why I even started this whole accurate context thing. I really started it for Real Housewives of Potomac because I didn't like how Candace was being treated. And I came up with the idea of accurate context because I wanted to break down season 5, but I wanted to start from season 3 when Candace came on the show to give accurate context for why season 5 happened. And I also wanted to, use social media and interviews and lives and all these other things, as you said, the other nuances that a lot of people missed because all they were tuned into was the fight. So there was a lot of accurate context missing. People just thought that Candace and Monique just woke up one day and decided to be going at it in a barn. But anyways, I digress. So yeah, when you don't watch the show and when you don't follow things on social media, and trust me, there's so many content creators out here who have accurate context. They have lives. They have Twitter screenshots, because I know that Coleslaw's Twitter, I think, got banned or deleted or whatever. But they have screenshots from when she was on Twitter. They have screenshots of things that she posted on Instagram from years and years ago. And then I saw somebody commented too that this case is old. And I'm like, lady, you're saying the case is old, and he just said this these documents were filed in what, February or June, I think he said, of 2023, so last year, so not that old. And not only that, they just went back to court this month. And now there's another extension, so they have to go back. So this isn't old. I think a lot of people feel like these documents were from the divorce and from the first custody battle. And then not only that, he also read within that document that the father's unhinged behavior also includes him threatening revenge P. So how would that be old? How would that be old when we got confirmation of this last year? We got confirmation of this last year, and Melody filed her report last year. And I already did a video stating why it was important for Melody to have filed a report. Because all the sites that I went on that talked about Revenge P and what to do if you're being threatened or if somebody releases a Revenge P tape on you, all of them say that if you are threatened, one of the first things that you should do is file a report, because that can help in preventing the person from going through with posting your tape. And it makes sense, because if now the person knows that they're on police radar for threatening to release Revenge P, it's highly unlikely that they're gonna go through with it unless they're like a sociopath or something and they don't care. And probably Martell is one of those. But now the cops know that if this tape ends up out there, that he would be one of the first persons that they need to look at. So that is why it was important for Melody, because her and Martell, they're not friends. He's obviously not somebody that you can communicate with and negotiate with and be reasonable with. So Melody didn't owe it to him to not report it when he's holding on to it. And at this point in time, she doesn't know how many people already have it. She doesn't know how many people have seen it. At this point, she needs to protect herself, and there needs to be a record in place that there was a threat and that she's fearful that he might actually go out there and post this. And she has children to think about. Because it's not just herself. And yes, a woman shouldn't be ashamed of being, a sexual being and whatnot. But some things should remain private. So she was well within her right to go and report it, because in the state of Alabama, it is illegal to threaten to release Revenge P on somebody. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, that the threat in and of itself is also illegal. They just feel like, oh, he just threatened her. He didn't release it, so nothing's wrong. Nope. Go pick up a law book. Google. Google. And Google will let you know there are different states with different revenge P laws. But in the state of Alabama, it is illegal to threaten someone with the release of revenge P. And that is why Melody could have filed her report. Yes, Ebony, them people crazy, them crazy bad. So that's what I came on live to talk about, y'all. These people over there under Kempire's video just saying just some crazy stuff. You guys, they could go to a myriad, and then they want to talk about, oh, it's the crazy fans that are making the show hard to watch. And I'm like, this is not about the show. Forget about the show for 1 second. And somebody had the audacity to talk about a cult. That, oh, what we're doing is not support of Melody, it's cult behavior. And I'm like, so to stand up for a woman after we have heard these court documents being read for a couple of days now, what is it, like two days, to stand up and say this is not okay, to know the laws of the land, and to know that threatening to release revenge P on her is also not okay. To see that she's being mistreated still by this man, she cannot have any peace, and to stand up and talk about that, that's not support, that's a cult-like behavior. I guess people don't understand what the word cult means. But I also know that what they're doing is trying to attach a negative connotation when they're saying that, millimeters, Melody supporters are, a cult. And that's crazy. I was going to do a whole video talking about several women who unalived themselves because their partners and their ex-partners threatened to release revenge P on them. I was like, that's kind of too morbid. Let me not do that. But the fact is, just the threat can really mess up a lot of people. And that fear of that private, intimate moment being out there for your mom and your dad and your siblings and everybody to see, it can be so depressing, I believe, that if you're not strong enough, you can end up being out of here. And I read some articles and I had posted it to my Instagram stories, where I read some articles of women who, one woman, her husband was recording her while he was telling her that she needed to give up some rights in their divorce proceedings, and she needed to say it on camera that she's given up her rights to some things in their divorce proceedings, or he was going to release their SCX tape. And they were arguing, and she went out on the balcony and she was begging him not to do it. And he was there taunting her like, yes, and your mom's gonna see it and everybody's gonna see it. And she jumped from the balcony. And he was telling the cops that he wasn't really going to do it, he was just trying to scare her. And now he is, I think, in prison because, as I said, the threat of revenge P is a crime. And the fact that she jumped and he was the only one there, and then they have the recording of him taunting her, that was all criminal activity. So now he's in jail. And then there's this other girl who her ex-boyfriend threatened to send her tape to her family, and she also unalived herself, and he was charged. And that was in 2018, and the case was still ongoing in like 2022. It's crazy. And I said before, right, I guess unless it happens to them, they won't get it. They're never going to get it. Because even in the trailer, I found it really disgusting that they're like, oh, that's not DV, it's just a phone charge. What do you mean? Go understand the law of your state. It's DV because it's a threat, and it's a threat coming from a former romantic partner or a spouse. That is why it's DV. So that was disgusting to me, that that's the narrative that they're going with. And that, oh, 16 months later, who cares? What does it matter how long it took for her to report it? He did something wrong. Let's focus on that. So I hope, was it next week, Saturday, when the show airs? I know the craziness isn't going to die down, y'all. It's just gonna get worse. But I hope we can use like this week to take a deep breath and to prepare ourselves, because we're gonna be called a cult, we're gonna be called crazy fans, we're gonna be called all manner of things because we see the BS and we're calling it out. Thank y'all for listening. I'm about to go. I want a jerk chicken tonight, y'all. So I feel like I'm gonna have some jerk chicken. There's this guy near me in South Florida, here where I am, who has amazing jerk chicken. It tastes just like in yard. So I am gonna get some jerk chicken from him, and he has great soup too. His soup is rich chicken soup. Sometimes he has fish tea, but I'm hoping that he has like chicken soup tonight. And I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna get pizza for my kiddo because she don't like chicken. She likes cheese pizza, so that's what I'm gonna get her. So I hope you guys have a great Friday evening. Go over to Kempire if you want and see what some of those comments are saying. Please note that you're going to see me in the comments section windmilling, because I don't like craziness. Sometimes I try to stay away from it. Like, this is some crazy comments. Let me not even respond, but they got me tonight, and I responded to a couple because obviously they didn't have accurate context. So when you go over there and you go in the comment section, you're gonna see me. So enjoy the rest of your night, y'all. And some of you, I'm hopeful that I will see you at MeloCon. Can't wait for the date to drop. And I'm gonna see Journey to Jasmine if she's still in the chat. Ebony. Yeah, I'm hopeful that I'm gonna see you. I don't know, Braylon, are you gonna be there? Are you planning on being there, Braylon? I hope to meet you too, with your very radio announcer voice. It's a great voice. Like, you have a perfect voice for radio. I hope you know that. So I hope to see some of you all at MeloCon, and we're waiting for the date. And as soon as the date drops next week, I'll be over here talking about it. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Bye.